What's going on, guys? Rank Up Gaming here, and welcome back to the video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Behemoths in Battlefield 1. Now if you haven't played Battlefield 1, or haven't played any large game mode, then you won't know about them, but the Behemoths are three massive sort of vehicles that will come in at one point in the game and actually help your team out if you're losing. If you're playing operations and you lose a round and you can't actually get past the one sector, then Behemoth will come in for the losing team, or at least the attacking team, if they lose of course, at which point then she'll get a big boost and help them push on. And if you're playing Conquest and you're behind by 150 points, the Behemoth will also come in and give our team a huge boost, hopefully pushing you beyond the point where you can actually go up, maybe come back in the game, maybe even win. Now there are different types of Behemoth, and depending on the map you'll get different ones. So for the battleship which spawns in, or the Dreadnought it's also called, the only maps it's going to spawn in on are Empire's Edge and Foul Fortress. These are actually two of my favourite maps, so this is the one I see a lot of. Then for the airship or the blimp, on Monte Grappa, St. Quentin Scar and Ballroom Blitz, you'll see this one a lot if you play those game modes. And then finally for the armoured train, you'll see this one on Suez, the Argonne Forest, Amiens and the Sinai Desert. Now there are different ways to use all of these. They don't all work the same, they don't all have the best tips. I can't just say, yeah, go up and do this with all of them, that's going to work. There are different ways to use them, and I'll give my best advice as I possibly can. So for the first one, the battleship, if you spawn in first, of course you are the driver and you can steer and control this thing, but you also have a massive artillery gun which shoots 4 huge shots that are almost mortar-like in the fact that you point out on the map, they'll go straight up in the air, come back down and land wherever you aim. And now the third seat actually has a General LMG gun, which is basically designed to take out the boats around, or if you're close to the shore, take out some targets as well. The third seat has an anti-air gun, which obviously is designed to take out air targets that are possibly causing a problem. And then eventually the second seat is another massive artillery gun. Now this one is at the back. So the way I believe it is best to use the battleship is really have either the guns, the big front gun with the driver and the big back gun, really communicating all the time. It's not necessary, but it's so much better to use if you can actually go up and communicate they're going to land at the same spot, or at least around the target, rather than both randomly shooting at different targets. If you can get them to coordinate and shoot the same target, maybe even create a choke point somewhere, that's really going to work out well. And if you are on the back artillery gun, you don't want to be going up and not taking your shots at all. You want to put as many shots down range as you possibly can. The more shots you get off, the better you'll do. Of course, you don't want to just randomly shoot everywhere. Think about where you're going to hit it. Think, okay, last time I shot the enemy was here. They probably moved a little bit, so they might be here, and then take a shot rather than just thinking they're going to be exactly the same spot. And if you are the driver, don't always sit on your gun. The amount of times where I see the battleship just parked in the middle of the ocean, getting shot by a bunch of things, or not even doing a benefit to us, to the point where it's just not in range, and you keep telling the driver, come on, move a bit, and he just keeps staying on his gun, not doing anything. If you actually go up and you are the driver, get into a perfect spot where both guns are useful, and then you can start staying still, using artillery guns, but always make sure that you're trying to avoid boats as best you can, or even avoiding the big guns on the side and the artillery guns on the side that will take out tanks, of course you as well, and really just avoid everything you can. So now for the second one, the airship or the blimp, the driver of course again controls the whole blimp, and he decides which way it goes, backwards, forwards, left or right, and now he also can bomb ground targets. If you go into the second weapon and you actually aim down sights as well, then he can actually drop bombs on top of the target, and they are extremely powerful bombs. These things really clear an objective easily. And then basically for all the other seats, they have 7.7 Hotchkiss machine guns, which are extremely powerful and actually have a huge splash damage. So really, if you see somebody, just shoot the direction. There's a lot of muzzle flash from these guns. So if you can't see somebody, just keep shooting and hope that you'll hit them. Because again, the splash damage is surprisingly big. So realistically, as long as you're pretty close, you should be able to kill them. And now on top there are 2 AA guns, one on the front and one at the back. These are basically designed to be general takeout. If somebody lands on top of the blimp, then you can take out there, or any airships or any planes that are flying around, you can actually take them out as well. And the final Behemoth is the train, or the armoured train, the other name. Now of course this one again, the driver gets to control driving. No left and right, obviously just straight forwards and straight back, because there's a train on tracks. This is the least mobile one of all of them. But the driver again does get an artillery gun, where he can actually go up and sort of use as a mortar and bombard people around him. And then the second seat gun is very similar to one of the 2 side guns that you get on the land ship. It's basically the same, except it has a less range on it, and I believe it does more damage with a bigger splash damage range. Honestly, I don't really like the second seat in this one. The second seat in most of these is great, except for this one. it's just kind of weak, and I don't really feel like I can do much. If you get the driver's seat, take the driver's seat, don't give it up. That is definitely the best one to go with. And the two other guns are heavy machine guns. One of them has a bit more damage than the other one, and is sort of a explosive heavy machine gun, and the other one is a standard heavy machine gun that does a lot of damage to infantry, but doesn't really have too much range and isn't very accurate. I hate to say it, but of all the Behemoths, this one is my least favourite. I really don't bother with the train. In some way it can be really effective, but so much of the time the weapons it has are just useless, and I just don't find like I'm doing anything for the team. The best thing I could say to do this one is basically use the fact that it's armoured and extremely hard to kill. Park it right in the objective, make it impossible for them to move you, and just be a massive nuisance. To be honest, the fact that you are a massive, very slow train, eventually people will catch wind of you, and eventually you'll go down. Now, for any advice I have for taking down a Behemoth, there's really only one way to do it, and that is pure aggression and firepower. There's no special tactic with getting on board it, and there's no special switch you can hit, no like special map things. You just have to hit this with every single thing you have. Explosives, things like grenades, dynamite, boats for the battleship of course, airplanes, mounted guns, anything that's going to do any damage to them, just do that all you can. These things might not seem very powerful, but honestly, the amount of times we're playing operations and I think, yes, we have these guys locked in, there's no way they're going to go anywhere, and then suddenly win the next 3 maps because they actually now have the Behemoth, and they just dominate the rest of the game. On the other end, though, Behemoths are a lot of fun to use. So if you manage to get hands on one, go ahead and use it, and really enjoy using it, because people will eventually get inside and you'll actually lose your seat. So keep it as long as you can. But hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. More videos coming on the way soon. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this new schedule. Everything seems to be going fine. I'm working on a new outro. Maybe it will debut in this video. I'm not actually sure. But hopefully when it does come out, you guys enjoy it as well. And until then, this is Rank Up Gaming, and I'll see you next time.